we were inspired by the desire that we both have to enjoy an adventure. We both love traveling and outdoor life. And so we decided to take our bicycles and to start for a one-year trip from Cesena in Italy to Singapore. We wanted to show to everybody that even with diabetes type 1, like my case, it is possible to live a normal and adventurous life without any limitations.
17,553 kilometers and 385 days, 21 countries. We passed through 21 countries, and yeah, everybody asks us. It's one of the most common questions. How many punctures did you have? About 20 in two, which is not too bad in 1 year. A long journey or a small journey by bike is not about really sport. It's more about a mental condition. Some pain at the beginning, like the first few days were hard, the first climb was hard, but the training arrived with the journey. After the few days we spent cycling in Italy, the first country we get into was Slovenia, which was also the beginning of Eastern Europe. The plan was easy because you have nothing to plan. You plan it every day. You make major plan at the beginning, but the real plan you do it day by day, checking the road, checking the condition of everything, you know. But it was one thing that was complicated. I mean, like we had to store insulin, you know, to find a reliable way to have always insulin ready for Chiara.
So I was diagnosed with diabetes type 1 in 2001, and I was 11 years old. At the beginning, it changed my life a lot. It was a little shock, and it was like an imposition for me. And I was 11, and the first thing I tried to do was to not obey the rules. Like I wanted to eat sweets. And the first years were a little bit complicated maybe, but after a while I realized that living with diabetes doesn't mean much more than controlling the value of my sugar level during the day. Right now I'm using an insulin pump, which gives me the insulin 24 hours, and every 3 days I need to change the bandage and the little plastic tube that is actually giving me the medicine.
So we started to think about how to store insulin on the bike, the whole amount of insulin on the bike. And that's funny because I started like checking mozzarella di bufala boxes, like mozzarella cheese boxes, because I know they can fit on the bike and they are pretty isolated, and then we found out they were too fragile and they couldn't really give us like a reliable system and like, you know, a perfect temperature, you know. So we did a lot of research, and then we started look something more technical, and that's how we found out Peli BioThermal and the box. This was simple, was strong, was like 6 kilograms.
And we are very thankful to Peli BioThermal because the Credo ProMed really was a very trustable product which helped us during the whole year, and we had no concern about the temperature of insulin. People were surprised always that we were not carrying beer inside it, for example, to refrigerate beer. People were very happy to invite us to their houses, to have lunch with them, to sleep in their houses, to introduce us to all of their family. And they wanted us to share our story with them because they don't meet foreigners that often.
Our host for tonight is their house. We are trying to communicate with dictionaries. The most challenging country we've been cycling, it has been for sure India, for several reasons, because the traffic is just crazy, and you know, being a bicycle on an India highway, it's just terrible.
My favorite country was probably Nepal. And in Nepal, we had the most hard days, like days with 60 kilometers of climbing. And those days are the best memories that we have probably, because at the end of a very strong and difficult day, the satisfaction was very, very big. And the scenery also were amazing, and people, we met there very nice people, and so that's probably my favorite part of the trip. In this picture, we were still in Malaysia. This is the last cycling day. We were in Johor Bahru, and from the window of our hotel, we could see the bridge taking us to, that would take us a few hours later to Singapore. We woke up to see the sun shining, and we took our bikes for the last time. We were quite excited, and we crossed the bridge, and then we had many people happy to receive us on the other side of the bridge. And we celebrated the arrival at the Pâtissier, which is a bakery, a pastry shop, who supported us on the way and who made the final cake, which we refer to in the project. And so to celebrate the year on the bike, they made us a fabulous meringue cake that we enjoyed with all these people.
Traveling by bicycle gives you the opportunity to visit so many places far from the mass tourism, which is a very good thing. Sometimes bad, because sometimes you get stuck in the middle of nowhere with nothing to do, nothing to see. But after almost 18,000 kilometers, I have to say that what we really loved, what we really remember, it's all the experiences we had in those places, because we feel that we were lucky, we were privileged to see something that most of the people will never see.